Just in a nick of time. Just in a nick of time. We're going live. Just in a nick of time. Nick of time. Nick of now. Okay. As we come together, mute your phones. Yes, baby. Just in a nick of time. Just in a nick of time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Makeshift Happen, the spiritual variety show. And yeah, I don't know. That's just like StreamYard only gives me like 10 minutes after the hour. And it's 12:09. I'm like, okay, I just got to quit messing with things. Just go live, Tammy Lee. Just in the nick of time. Otherwise, it would not have prompted the Facebook pieces. Hello, everyone. I'm Tammy Lee, here to show you different ways to make shift happen in your life. For those of you that are new to me, I'm an intuitive, accelerated way shower, magical maven, and divine oracle. And I help guide people. I help assist people to go within, to boldly, as I walk beside them, boldly go within their inner caves, their inner landscape, to traverse through those landscapes and feel, see, and know what desires to come forth. What desires to come forth. That desires to be seen, heard, healed, transmuted. Did you know that when we bury our emotion, they never die? That's right, darlings. Your emotion never dies. It just festers within you. Creates this dis-ease within your physicality, within your emotional body, mental body, spiritual body, and your etheric body. I've been doing my work for over 20 years. And every time I would question something, it comes back to this. Emotions buried alive never die. They will fester. I see it over and over and over again. And it is time. Your physicality, your spirit, your soul desires you. Each and every one of us, me, each and every one of us, to look at these different pieces, aspects of who we are. There are fragments of our soul out there waiting to come back home. Waiting to come back home. Yet these aspects of us are either they can be timid, they could be scared. Some call this your shadow self, because we may have thought something and we did not know why we thought it. We may have said something or didn't say something, thought something, but never spoke it. Say yes when we actually wanted to say no. Felt like we were not worthy and allowed ourselves to be taken into different experiences that were not for our highest good. There's a lot of emotion coming up with that. So you that are joining with me today, know that you are exactly where you need to be today. You are beautiful and perfect with who you are right now. You are loved. You are loved and supported beyond our wildest dreams. Okay, yeah, because I just heard Tammy say we, because they want me, the days that are coming through right now are wanting me to include myself. Because I forget that also. I forget how supported and how absolutely loved and accepted for who we are right now in this moment. See, girls, we're actors in a play. And sometimes, whether it's this lifetime or other lifetimes, we may have done things that we would judge. We judge ourselves so strong. It doesn't matter how many other people judge us, right? Who's with me on that? Because we judge ourselves so strong, instead of building ourselves up, instead of raising ourselves up to this higher stream of who we are and our divinity of what we came here to be, do, have, create, and experience and transform. About 15 years ago, I was in this week-long extreme transformational workshop up in Canada. The facilitator was freaking great. Brought in the perfect people to help facilitate such deep and profound, as long as you played 100%, right? As long as we played 100%. And I'm reminded of this week, actually even today, as I found different things, as I've been guided to recreate different stuff. No, not stuff, cancel that word. As I've been guided, like even like there's something stronger than who I am that's saying, Tammy, create sacred space within your home again. Because how many of us, and maybe you don't, but end up getting a catch-all room or a catch-all space, or put something somewhere and you think later I'll get to it, and then you never get to it, or it's like months later, and we make ourselves bad for that because life happens, right? The last 10 days of my life have been up and down and all around, twisted and inside out, and just all these different things. And sometimes I even forget my own tools. And that's why, yeah, I know I'm moving a lot, right? Because there's so much energy coming through that desires to be shared about how we are so freaking loved and supported. And sometimes we forget about that. And there's aspects of us that desire to come back home. There's aspects of us that desire to come back home within ourselves. Those aspects. Yeah, some people call them shadows because they're hiding. They're hiding, darlings, because they don't know if you will accept them. And some of them can look really scary. They can look scary. Maybe some of you will get this. I don't know. Okay, so howdy, Brienne. Yeah! Brianna's in the house. So about a year ago, because the more we work on the surface level, the more we can dive deep. And I had a dream. And in this dream, I'm just really asking if I'm supposed to share this because it's pretty powerful. In this dream, was not where I was going today, but let's keep going. In this dream, I was in my grandmother's house. And see, there's aspects of me that have been stuck in. Okay, let me just share the dream. In this dream, I was in my grandmother's house in the front room in Otis, Kansas, because we would go there every Sunday growing up until my parents divorced. Almost every Sunday. It was about a 30 to 40-minute drive, depending on the weather. And we would have usually chicken and noodles with grandma, except for in the summertime because it was too hot in her kitchen because she did not have air conditioning. So now I can feel the suffering coming up that she endured as I share this story. And one of the things I use to help transmute suffering is these white flames, the transformative properties that the white flames hold. So I'm bringing them in because I can feel my grandma coming here right now to help things shift with her and heal with her. So grandma would always make chicken and noodles. Now my grandmother, it actually wants me, okay, so I'm actually being asked to give you a little story about my grandmother versus going into the dream right now. So my grandmother, okay, I get it, because these are different aspects that our ancestors, that we actually carry forward from our ancestors, from our lineage. So my grandmother in this house, 2-story house, no air conditioning, making chicken and noodles. But sometimes she just said no. Even though I can feel right now, it would break her heart to say, I can't make chicken and noodles today. It's just too hot. Just too hot. So sometimes Grandpa would make barbecue chicken on the grill outside the back door. And we would have homemade ice cream. And us girls, me and my two other sisters, us 3 girls would take turns sitting on the ice cream, the homemade ice cream container, as somebody would be cranking it. We'd be sitting on it to keep it down in the ice. Wow, I haven't thought about this in a long time. Okay. So sometimes it's just, we need to say no. We really need to say no, ladies, and think of ourselves. So as my grandmother hardly ever said no, hardly ever spoke up for herself. She had my dad. She was pregnant with my father. Single woman. She never even told the man she got pregnant by that she was pregnant. I found that man years ago, my dad's natural father. And I found out, he told me the reason he quit seeing my grandmother is because she chewed. And back in those days, tobacco, according to what I understand, it was usually the leafy and grandma one time, I guess, and I never knew my grandma chewed. I think it's hilarious, actually. And I guess one time this Paul showed up to take my grandma for a date and found things in her teeth that disgusted him to the point that he never saw my grandma again. Instead of speaking up, our truth, his truth of how that made him feel, of how that made him want to, like, ugh, don't know if I actually want to see this woman anymore. Because of us not speaking our truth, wow, lives are affected. Okay, so my grandmother has my dad. I can't even imagine back in the 1940s, I think, of being a single woman pregnant and carrying your baby to full term because there was so much shame associated with that back then. So she meets my grandpa. Why am I? Okay, I'm just going with this because I'm really, like, my ego brain wants to really mess with me right now. Like, why are you saying all this, Tammy? So generational trauma. Exactly, Brianne. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So bringing in the white flames, generational trauma. Trauma has actually also come up in my life the last 3 weeks that I didn't even realize that things were traumatic to the point. Okay. So my grandmother has my dad, single woman. I don't even know that she finished school. She didn't know how to drive. She answers an ad in the paper. A man with 2 daughters lost his wife, looking for a housekeeper and caretaker of these 2 girls. My grandma answers that ad, thinking she has no choice. She's hired, thinking she has no choice because she has a 2-year-old son. See, one of the things that, we're supposed to live our life. The saying is, live your life with no regrets. But there is a regret I have. A regret of not talking to my grandmother more. Even though I was a young girl, I was about 24 when she passed away. And now I want to know more about her life. Like, what did she go through? And I know I can tap into her now. However, having her live, like just that physical touch. Yeah. So she married. Okay. So she got hired because this man's wife died in a fire. So she's taking care of these 2 girls. And this man was not the very nice person. And out of convenience, they got married. Out of convenience, they got married. And they moved different places, trying to make some money because they were extreme poverty. And I can really feel my grandma with us right now. So actually take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and ask your grandmothers to come forth. Because this is a calling for our grandmamas. There's a calling here for our grandmamas. As we have other helpers coming forth right now to hold space for us, along with the white transformative flames. Because this is one of the things, women, if you have a yes for it, for me, I cannot not do this work of healing my ancestors, of doing the work I do, whether it's one-on-one or in group, or right here with you on Makeshift Happen every Wednesday. This work is required. That's my belief. That's my experience. That's my knowing within me of ancestral healing, ancestral clearing. Because such as my grandmother, my paternal grandmother, she did not have tools. She did not know there was a better way. If she did, she didn't feel like she was worthy to follow that other way. So we're here right now. We are healers, ladies, in our own way. This transformative, unconditional, no matter what our grandmothers suffered, and their mothers, and their mothers, and their mothers, and their mothers. Now I work with also, I can feel the Marys dropping in right now with us, and I can feel the sacred grandmothers, and I can even feel these divine dragons coming forth right now to work with us as we bring forth our grandmothers and their daughters. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, my grandmother, thinking she had no choice, what else does she do? Marries this man, ends up having, I'd have to count, at least 5 more boys. Never had a girl. And my grandmother was all about family. And she was the purest heart I've ever known in this lifetime. No matter what she has suffered, no matter what trauma she has gone through, her heart for her grandchildren. Okay, I know it's grandchildren, but I'll just say it for her heart for me was the purest form of love, of this sacredness, of purity, of just the human word love. So just feel that energy, because this is what's coming forth right now, is this sacred heart of love. That too is full of transformative healing properties. So just take a deep breath and take that breath down into your heart space, because that's where I actually feel it going. I feel it like right down in here, like, and some people call this your higher heart. Some people call this your higher heart. Some people even call it your 8th chakra. Your higher heart. So our grandmothers, bring them forth, ask them to come forth with you right now. Another tool I have is love gauze. So you can imagine this pure white. I see it like puffy, like a puffy cloud, purest form of white, and I just wrap them. I wrap it around me. I wrap it around my heart, but I'm wrapping around it. If you have a yes for it, each and every one of you, and our grandmothers, so they can know. Wow. So they can know and feel this profound love for them, for when, and that it's okay. All is forgiven, grandmamas. We ask you to let go of your own judgment. We ask you to let go of your own judgment, your self-ridicule, your self-judging. We ask you to let go of that, to allow it to leave your system. Because see, when they pass over, to me, in my experience, this life is not a one and done. Some of these grandmothers are stuck. Wow. They're stuck where they're at. And right now, we're helping them to move on. We're helping them to release these things that are keeping them stuck. And we're actually bringing it up out of our own bodies. Because we too have carried on some of that suffering, some of that trauma that is not ours. It was theirs. And we carried it forth because they did not know how to move it, how to clear it, how to heal it. And we are here right now saying, we got you, grandmas. We got you, grandmamas. We got you. Right here, right now. We love you. We love you. We love you. You are forgiven. See, I can feel right now, because we're helping to release the shame and the guilt that they've carried. Because the last thing they wanted to do was send trauma and suffering down through them into us. That's the last thing they wanted to do. And they did not know they did that until they crossed over and on the other side. And they've been asking for help. Help us. Help me. Because they need us in this physicality to help them move that, to let them know that they are accepted, that the pain and the suffering that they experienced is leaving them now. It's leaving as we work with them right now, as we're consciously aware of them right now. And if you can't feel this, if you can't sense this, that's okay. Just be in this heart space. Because girls, I got your back. I got your back. I can feel this happening right now. I can feel this. So even that suffering, that trauma, and that is actually stuck in that house, in my grandma's house that we would go to every Sunday for Sunday dinner. And grandma just beamed as I walked in, and she would just, oh, Tammy Lee. I remember when I was 13 and my parents got a divorce. Shocking. Like, riveting, shocking in my whole systems. Okay, I'm 60. So that happened 13 years ago. So what, 1977? Would that be right? No, it was before that. I'm like, oh, no, that'd be about right. Um, 75. I think that's it. I think that might be it. About 1975. There was no such thing as divorce around here. There was like we were the second family in the town of Hayes that we knew of that our parents were getting a divorce. It was not something that was common. I went and stayed with my grandma for a little bit that summer. It shook me to the core of my being that my parents were divorcing. To a point to where I didn't even know that it did that. And then one day, I remember getting a phone call. I don't even remember. And back then, it's, the dial, and I don't even, who would it have been? I don't even know who called. I think maybe one of my sisters. I don't know. But something shifted. And I slept upstairs, and as I walked downstairs, I was giggling and laughing and everything. Because I remember walking down the stairs and grandma saying, "Oh, I got my Tammy back. I got my Tammy back." I don't know what happened. I don't remember that, but I remember grandma saying that. I remember still walking down the stairs. It's interesting. I'll have to go into that later and see what was going on then. And that lit her up. That lit her up. She had her Tammy back. But see, even that suffering that I had in that, and I took that with me in that home. And when we don't have tools, when we don't know about how energy stays stuck, not only within us, but even in the homes where we live, have lived, do live, even new homes we buy, there's energy stuck there. Even in the land, there's energy stuck there. Unless somebody cleared it, unless somebody worked with it. So our grandmothers, just take a deep breath right now. Take another deep breath. And we just ask them all to come forth. I can even feel some that are a little good one, good one, good one, good one, good one. Timid, shy, like cowering, like this, not knowing that they will be accepted if they come forth. And I'm just inviting them all, whether you're here live or listening to the replay, because I can even feel some of you will listen to this replay because your grandmothers are already coming forth, because this is like we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this. Right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here. We've been waiting for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. These grandmothers are grateful. These grandmothers are grateful to you. To you for saying yes. To saying yes to helping the generational trauma. To helping just the fact that you're here. Just the fact that you're here, ladies. Yes, there's more work to be done. There is more work to be done. There is more work to be done. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning. My grandmother, thinking she had no choice. What else was she going to do? Having a 2-year-old son, being a single woman. Back in the 1940s. Suffered trauma, even by the hands of this man that I grew up calling Grandpa. Never thinking she had a way out until he died. And then one day she spoke up, just asking her if it's okay to share this piece. Somehow, sometimes we find the courage. It's there within us, women. And sometimes, I don't know what that pivotal point was for her. And I did not learn this until after she passed. Because see, I grew up around porn. My grandpa had porn magazines, and us girls would find them. And I would read those stories. They were enticing. And we would look at those pictures, and we were sneaky about it. We were sneaky. See, we were taught how to be sneaky growing up. And some of those stories were like, oh, whoa. I can still remember some of that emotion, right? Of those stories that I would read in these books and in these magazines. And I can remember even sneaking into this one area. Okay, because grandma one day finally told my grandpa, kicked. Okay, so let me read. Back in the day, there was something called a wash house. You have your main house, and then you have this little building outside the house that's called the wash house. And that's where you would do all your canning, your laundry, just even cooking, especially in the summer, because you did not want to heat up the main house. So my aunt actually told me this. One day, grandma told my grandpa to get the hell out of her bedroom, that she was tired of him pawing on her. She was a well-endowed woman. She was tired of him pawing on her. Just those words of shock, despair, of her not knowing until finally one day she just like, boom, no more, no more. So I'm just letting my grandmother and all these other grandmothers that actually felt like they had no choice but to suffer different things like that they condemn themselves for that. It's like, we love you. It's okay. Forgive yourself. We forgive you for us carrying on those energies. I can hear them say, please forgive me. I can hear them say, please forgive me. They're crying out saying, please forgive me. And as they're saying that all that energy of that despair, of that they, like, I can even feel it in my breast, like they carried it in their breast, whether they're well endowed or not. So it's like all in this heart space, right? And it's just coming out of their beings. And it's being transmuted right now with all of us, ladies. Even all of that energy that we have, that we carried forth from our grandmothers. The trauma, the despair, the suffering, all of those energies and multiplied, multiplied, multiplied. Ooh, I do. Ooh, and it's coming out. It's coming out. And it's like these transformative flames of the white transformative flames. These they're just like, they're just sucking all this up. And they're helping to transform this energy right now. And all the energies related to it. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. And they're helping to set our grandmothers and those aspects of us free. Yes, yes, yes. Do I hear a yes from you? Do you have a yes for this? Type it in the text chat. Proclaim your yes. Yes, I have this yes within my heart for this. For all these grandmothers that have carried those burdens of suffering, of despair. of trauma. To go, away, 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 dicking away. Ding, 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 ding. Away, 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 away. So right with that, as that tone came up, I could see and feel the spinal columns of all of us. Like, okay, let me rephrase that. I can see the spine that represents so much. And I can see the pelvic bone. So it's also clearing that within us. The spinal fluid, the spine, and all the things associated with the spine. And the hip bones, the pubic area, like all of that in that area. Yeah. Just clearing, 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 clearing. Do you have a yes for that? Yes, 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 yes. Oh, mamas, we got this. We got this. So right now with me, here's another tool I want to, because right now, right here, we have aspects of us hanging out. And actually grandma's taking from us, like that no longer support us right now, who we are. They're taking back those parts of them that we carried forward, that they don't, these parts, they're aspects of them that we carried forward because they didn't know how to heal back then. They didn't know how to transmute. And now that they're doing that right now, they're like, ooh, girl, honey, darling, let me have those aspects of me back. Yeah, you don't got to carry that no more. You don't got to carry that, girls. I don't care what age you are. You don't got to carry that no more. So have a yes for giving those back to grandmas. Yeah, plural. Type it in the text chat. You have a yes. We want to proclaim our yes. Ooh, yeah. This yes. This yes in here. Right? This yes. Yeah, this yes. Wow. Because see, now they're stronger. Now they're like standing up taller and they're like, yes. They have their aspects back and they're loving on themselves. So right now with me, there's a practice. We reclaim our aspects. We reclaim our energy that has sifted away from us. There's a plethora of different ways our energy can sift from us, leak out from us. And we want to recall that. We want to reclaim that. And especially as we have these white flames around each and every one of us, because all that energy that comes back will go through those flames. It'll be cleaned up. And there's aspects of us that are wanting to come back home. So you say your name. You say your full name. So ladies, you say your, like mine is, okay, so I'm Tammy Lee. So my married name is Tammy Lee Shoemaker. But who was I before that? Who was I when I was in my mother's womb? My mother's name, maiden name. I was my mother in my mother's womb. Who was she before she was married? So mine was a Woolard. So I say Tammy Lee. Okay, so I first set that intention because I have a big yes to call back all these fragmented soul pieces of who I am back home to me. Tammy Lee Woolard. Now my grandmother is here, so strong. I'm using her. Okay. Let me just do this before I add that part. Tammy Lee Woolard, mom's maiden name, then my maiden name, Huff Shoemaker. Tammy Lee Woolard, Huff Shoemaker. And repeat your name, Tammy Lee Woolard, Huff Shoemaker. I call back all those fragmented soul pieces of who I am. I call them back. Yes. Welcome home, welcome home, welcome home. I want you to start using this tool. Reclaim your energy. I reclaim my energy. I reclaim those fragmented soul pieces. I reclaim my energy. Yes. Just go to it. First name, middle name, mother's maiden name, your maiden name. And if it's changed, your last name now. You can also add in if you have been given a sacred name in this lifetime. If you've been given another name in this lifetime. Okay? Great work, ladies. Great work. Great work. Great work. Great work. There's so much uplifted energy around each and every one of us right now. Thank you for all the beings that are here with us right now. Thank you to the Marys. Thank you to the sacred grandmothers. And thank you for all other beings that came here to support us in this work today. And I can even hear them say, thank you, Tammy, for following your intuitive guidance of going in this direction today. And they're saying thank you to you too for showing up, for saying yes to this work, for saying yes for what we did here today. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. You know what? I'm actually being called to like share, like tag people in this video so they can start to heal and clear their generational trauma also. This is just the beginning for all of us to keep doing this work. Yeah. I think there's something bigger brewing too, of doing this work together on a special class. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I adore you. That's what's being said to each and every one of us. I adore you. Until next time, ladies, keep up the good work. Use your name, reclaim your energy. Much love. Reach out to me. I'm here for you. So reach out to me if you have any thoughts, questions. Please post them in the Facebook group, especially under this particular. This was powerful. Thank you for being here.